Hello everybody, it's Jackie with Jackie's Wreaths and Things, and today I'm going to show you how to put 10-inch mesh on a teardrop work form. We're going to be using 10-inch mesh and it's cut 30 inches long. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my frame to add my mesh. So I'm going to start on the bottom and I'm going to open my ties. Now the reason I open my ties first is this prevents overhandling the mesh, which increases your fray. Now, with the 30-inch ruffle, to cut back on the fray, what we're going to do is we're going to give it just a little tuck under roll. Just a little one, just one time. And then we're going to ruffle it up. And we're going to give it a little tuck under roll one time. And then we're going to tie it in. Kind of similar to doing the woodland ruffle, but we're not trying to get so much of the curl. We're just trying to cut back on the fray. And that's all. Now it's going to take you 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh, cutting your pieces 30 inches long. The reason I chose to cut it 30 inches long, I could have cut it 10 inches long, is because this is a large frame, and using the ruffle technique, I want it to look very, very full. I'm not trying to make this a flat frame. This frame, to me, is too large to want to try to make it into a screen door type of wreath. But it's kind of difficult to do a poop on this. Whether or not you do a ruffle or a poop, it's going to take 2 yards. It's going to take 2 rolls of mesh. Because when you do the poop, it'll take 1 roll of 21-inch mesh and 1 roll of 10-inch mesh to fill it out. Doing it like this, because 10-inch mesh is cheaper, you'll save money, but you'll still have a very full looking wreath like you would with using the poof. And for some that are still trying to get the poof technique down, this will definitely give you an instantly beautiful wreath. The mesh that I'm using, I picked up at General Wholesale. You can get good mesh from General Wholesale, ranchhousecraftsupply.com, Craft Outlet, Deco Exchange, Waterman's Loft. And you can shop every single one of those online, and you do not need a tax ID to shop them. See how beautiful that is? Notice that as I was doing this, I was just laying my ruffles on top of each other. I'm doing that on purpose because it will make my ribbon lay better later on. Don't want to fluff these out because then otherwise it smashes your ribbon. Okay? Let's go to the top. We're going to open all of our ties except for the center ones. We're not ready for those yet. The reason for opening the ties is because the mesh has a tendency to snag across the tie. So we want to go ahead and open it up so you can just lay your ruffle on that. So we're going to continue on doing the same thing, except we're going to do just a little bit different on the top after we crunch our ruffle up. We're going to flip it over. The reason I'm flipping it over is so it'll lay flatter, so my ribbon will lay better later on. Like I said, this is very similar. The woodland ruffle you would roll in a few more times. But I don't want to roll it in that much. But you could, if you wanted to, cut your mesh 35 inches and do the woodland ruffle. Rolling it in like this prevents having to buy a ton of chemicals and things like that to spray to cut back on fray. You're just not going to have it because the raw edge of the mesh isn't exposed. Notice again on top, I'm laying my ruffles on top of each other. I'm not pooping them up. You don't want to do that because it's all about the ribbon later on. You want to make sure your ribbon's going to lay properly. I don't think I'll ever get over my addiction to these frames. I just really, really love them. There's a lot of large signs out there that the standard 15-inch form isn't big enough for, and this one definitely accommodates it. And it does a beautiful job of accommodating it. Isn't this mesh beautiful? I love it. Sorry about the ding. I thought I had all devices turned down. Obviously not. All right. So now you notice we have a hole right here in the center. Not a big deal, but we're not going to use the ties because they're too far down. So we're just going to leave them and make sure that they're tucked down. Okay, because they're actually up here and we need our tie right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the ties and kind of go catty corner so that my pipe cleaner won't slip, and I'm going to tie in a pipe cleaner. You got to twist a pipe cleaner a few more times because otherwise your mesh just slides out from a pipe cleaner. And that's why I prefer the pencil ties over making frames myself. Now I know I'm not going to need that later on because I don't put ribbon on it. There's no reason to put ribbon on it because whatever I put on my wreath is going to cover that up. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off and get it out of my way. Isn't that just beautiful? So it took 19 pieces of mesh, cut 30 inches long to complete this frame. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I can't wait to see what you create with the teardrop frame. Bye, y'all.